Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another session of Therapy and Panels. Did any of you know that there were at least 6 different spin-offs from the Walking Dead series? I sure didn't. I was only aware of the ones like Daryl Dixon and Dead City. And it just kind of got me thinking about the beginning of this whole thing with The Walking Dead. So I figured for today it would be a nice little thing to go back on the past.
Created by Robert Kirkman and Tony Moore, Kirkman was a fan of the zombie films such as Living Dead and video game series such as the Resident Evil franchise. The original pitch by Kirkman and Moore was for a follow-up of The Night of the Living Dead, with the series taking place in the 1960s. However, the co-founder of Image Comics at the time, Jim Valentino, suggested using an original concept instead so they could have the full rights to the property. The pitch was then revised into an original story, taking a more traditional approach to the zombie survival tale, but the revised version was once again rejected for being too normal, whatever that means. So Kirkman then pitched it again with an added twist that the plague was sent by aliens and the comic would be more of an alien invasion story. However, Kirkman decided he had no intention of making the comic about aliens and felt that the lie was necessary to get the comic published, and lucky for him, that's how it got published.
So let's go back all the way to 2003 and go read The Walking Dead #1 and see how the whole franchise began.
My cover is a special variant from 2015 for a Wizard World convention. Specifically, the one I have is an Indianapolis variant. The cover doesn't really show much outside of the 3 of the series protagonists just fighting off some zombies, or walkers as they are called in the series. Our story begins with cops Rick Grimes and Shane Walsh dealing with an escaped convict. Rick tries to make it over a ditch so the two can surround him, but instead gets a bullet through the chest for his troubles. He awakens in a hospital bed, and weirdly enough, no one answers when he tries calling for a nurse. He finds his clothes and heads out to the entryway of the hospital to find the whole place seems to be abandoned and the cafeteria closed off. When he removes the barricade to the cafeteria, he sees that the whole room is filled with nothing but zombies who try to attack him. Rick escapes the hospital and discovers that this is happening basically everywhere. He manages to get back to his home, but finds nothing but an abandoned, ransacked home. And before he can think of what to do next, he gets knocked out by a smack to the head via a shovel.
Ah, crud. Dad, I got another Jehovah's Witness.
He wakes up in the home of Morgan and his son Dwayne, who thought he was one of the zombies at first, and they explain to Rick how these creatures started appearing and how a blow to the head seems to be the only way to permanently deal with them, and how people were told to head to the bigger cities, claiming from the media that they would be protected there. And knowing that his in-laws live in Atlanta, that would be the most likely place where his family went off to, so he decides to go do some car shopping. Rick takes himself and the Morgan and his son to this police station he works at to not only get himself a car, but to get some heavy artillery for the both of them, because you never really know.
And with that, we're gonna have to leave it off there. For anyone who hasn't seen the show or read the books, it'll be up to you to figure out what happens next. In the meantime, it's a pretty good beginning.
There is something about the black and white for the art that makes everything work well with the suspense and creepiness of the zombies to me, and viewing everything along with Rick in the new world is a great way of world building.
That's all the time we have for today. I'd like to thank you all for attending another session of Therapy and Panels. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate it if you left a like, comment, or subscribe. And as always, I'm the Super Guru, signing off.